Hi, Carmen. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Oils and Fats webinar. How are you doing today, Carmen?
Thank you. Very good. Managed to finish the highlights during the afternoon today, which is great. So I had some time to do other stuff. But yeah, good. Busy with the S&Ds, prices, and everything as usual. Yeah.
Nice, good to hear.
And yourself?
All good as well. All good. You might be surprised for seeing me here today because obviously we announced that Gabriela, uh, would replace me in the Oils and Fat webinar moving forward. But she has a flu, unfortunately, so she had to stay today at home, and then I'm helping and jumping in to replace her today.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot for this. Yeah, that's indeed a bit unfortunate, but good to see you again. Anyway, that's the bonus.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. And she will be hopefully, joining next time, of course, as co-host together with you. She's a great experience in the commodity industry, more than 8 years. So we will have her on the webinar, and I will be focusing on just other projects, of course.
great.
Perfect. So yeah, some topics for today's agenda that we have to cover today is going to be for sure the Brent crude oil market, and the Middle East situation. Also Indonesian export centralization. I saw weather and crops, S&D, and other topics.
Hmm.
But maybe we can start with the Brent crude oil. What's going on with the Brent price and how the veg oil complex is reacting to this.
Yeah, thanks for this. Let me open the futures on the Vesper tool, and then let me share my screen now. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, because we had to cancel the previous webinar, so it's been already more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So as you can see, prices declined from their peaks in the mid of May, right, when prices were around 108 up to 110 during certain trading sessions. So prices declined to around $95. And the reason for that I would say US and Iran, they're trying to use a bit of a more, let's say, peace-related language, if I can say so. It's a bit controversial, but the market reads the statements from these two countries that despite the differences in positions, they still want to conclude a new ceasefire agreement, which importantly will reopen the Strait of Hormuz, right? Because that's what everybody wants, the shipping route to be unlocked. That's what keeps the prices below the peaks. However, yeah, the situation is still fragile and it changes hourly. That's why you see the prices first tanked to 91, then increased again and decreased. So it's ever-changing situation. And yeah, as you know, as you probably read the news, both sides indicate different timelines, which is very important. So for example, Iran says, or sorry, the US side says that the agreement could be done within 2-3 days or within a week, so something short term. Whereas I think Iran, their representative at the United Nations said that it might take up until the end of June, right? So sides still share different views on the timeline, but at least the market feels that they do try to create a new agreement which will reopen the strait, and this keeps the prices below the peaks. And the same situation is with veg oils, right? That lower Brent crude oil and veg oils are also decreased from their peaks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, interesting. Thanks for sharing. I forgot also to say, if you guys have questions, please use the chat. You can ask us questions, and we will reply to. Yeah, we will try to reply as much as we can. If we don't have time left for too many questions, we can always have a chat after the webinar, but the chat is open for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Remember the question about the fertilizer? I'm not
Yes.
sure if, yeah, so actually we did come back to a person. So we when we say that we do come back to you after the webinar, we actually do that.
That's important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's important. Okay, right. Okay. And regarding the Brent crude oil, do you have any view or forecast outlook on how this can move forward in the coming weeks? Because in the end, this is going to have a direct impact on the veg oil complex.
Yeah, indeed. So what I see kind of two storylines. The first one is basically from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. So I just decided to show this visual.
Yeah.
This is basically their monthly Brent crude oil price forecast, and we are here. I think, yeah, this is what May is here. So we're here at this dot, yeah.
Okay.
And as you can see, the agency expects a steady decline of the prices, during 2026, 2027. But as you can see, the decline is not sharp. It's not the price. They do not expect prices to tank, and that's because of the infrastructure damages that took place in the Middle East across various countries, not just in Iran. Yeah, oil facilities were damaged. It will take time to repair those. It will take time to restore the production. So that's why the prices are not expected to decline as quickly. They are expected to decline, but as you can see, it will take time for them to reach pre-conflict levels, and even in 2027, prices are still higher than before the conflict, right? That's important. And another story that I heard, I just read it at the oil price source, that Chevron, and I think they quoted a couple of other big oil companies, they say that the situation with the inventories now, with the stocks, how much fuel and oil countries have now, it's so critical that soon it will be even more felt that there is just not enough oil in storage, and prices could hit 165. So we are now at 95, but they say there could be a sudden jump in the coming weeks. So that's a bit of an extreme scenario, but because it was shared by the oil majors and they provided arguments, so we do have these two controversial stories, right? One is the steady decline, another one is sharp increase. But I think both stories, there is a consensus that oil prices are not expected to drop even after the end of the conflict, just because of the, yeah, as I said, infrastructure damages, production issues. So we will remain in, in the, let's say, era of higher oil prices for quite some time still.
Yeah, not pre-conflict levels, basically.
No, they will reach there, but as for example, EIA showed, it will take time.
Yeah. And this is something that you also mentioned in your highlights. That is already available. They are already available on the platform, so people can also have a look at the report for just to have more insights on this.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you, German. Let's maybe move to palm oil, because the big topic, obviously, of this week and right now is the Indonesian export centralization. What are the key updates on that?
Yeah, basically, as I think many people are aware now, but for those who are not, the Indonesian government introduced a new export centralization policy from June 1st, so it already started officially, for key commodities including palm oil and also refined palm oil, and yuko and pomi as well. For palm kernel, I don't think it's included yet. I was asking some people, I was checking the presentations by the government, some slides, and I don't think it's there yet, but we will need to see. But basically, yeah, the government wants to battle under invoicing and boost the revenue. And because of that, the government is increasing the control over exports. And the situation is that from now up until end of this year, the companies in Indonesia, they will need to report to the government what they're doing in terms of exports. So it's just documentation, whereas from the next year, the Indonesian government is planning to take all the operations, right? So it's communication. Apparently, they will be involved in the communication with the counterparts, with the logistics, with the payments and everything. So basically, one large export gate. And this is expected to start in January 2027. So private companies would effectively become suppliers of this governmental body. But I would say at the same time, it's still not fully clear how it will be working. And Bloomberg, I think, recently shared an article saying that Indonesian government is discussing with companies a possibility that those companies who can invest more, maybe, or cooperate more with this governmental body, they might be sort of exempted from, exports control. So it's still very unclear, but people are very concerned because it can significantly change all the operations and
Yeah,
disrupt
that's
everything.
that was my next question. Like, what do you think it could be the short term and long term impact on the markets?
Yeah, so initially when the news just came, palm fruit purchases at palm gates in Indonesia tanked because people just, the companies who produce palm oil, they didn't want to end up with a lot of palm oil inventory. Whereas I would say when it comes to the administrative challenges, people think that, for example, now the companies that need to send the compliance documents, they might also be confused about the procedures, which could maybe delay exports a bit. And also there are concerns that before the phase two, so for example, Q4 this year, probably, people will try to export as much as they can before the government takes control.
Yeah.
Right? So people could just try to throw as much volume out of the country as possible before the government takes over the operations. And in the longer term, like the very, very long term, of course, it's a bit scary for the investors because the government the government intervention is increasing, right? Too much control, administration burdensome. So this could impact the production because companies might invest less into
Yeah,
replanting or into fertilizer purchases, etc. So this is also a bit of a risk for the production, right? So taking into account that Indonesia is the largest supplier of palm oil on the planet, I think everybody will be watching this topic very closely, right? Because this can disrupt the
of
global
course.
export a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's good that we are starting to talk about it already, so
yeah,
people start hearing about it, and it's not a surprise later in some months.
yeah.
Okay, as we are discussing palm oil, German, what is the situation with the Malaysian S&D?
Yeah, so the polls shared by Bloomberg and Reuters, they show that stocks in Malaysia in May could have increased by around 2%. So even though production was estimated to be lower
Yeah.
by around 5%, but exports were not really good because prices were high, and India, for example, was slowing down the purchases. That's why we might have high inventories in May. The data will show soon. But at the same time, if I think it's good to share our year-to-date production chart for Malaysia. So this is palm kernel oil. Let me show palm oil crude. So, and let me choose year-to-date to see accumulated. So as you can see, for example, this is April data, right? We are talking about the May, but as you can see that in the first 4 months, the production has been very good, right? And if we add on top of it the May estimate, so the red bar would be here, it still would be good, honestly. So still the production from January to May is expected to be over 7.4 million metric tons, which is
Mhm.
above previous year levels. So still, I would say the H1 first half of the year, the production has been very good, but some of the market participants are worried that in the coming months there could be some declines in Malaysia or Indonesia in terms of production. So we will need to monitor this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that, Garmin. And if we quickly check on the Loric, so palm kernel oil, what is the situation there?
Yes, so let me share the prices for Loric. Go to my Loric oils dashboard. Yeah, this is, for example, the CIF Rotterdam price. As you can see, it's going down. And of course, the situation is the same for the origin price.
Mm-hmm.
Let me maybe leave it here. Yeah, so the prices are going down both for CIF Rotterdam and for Malaysia, for example.
Yeah.
And that's because of the weaker palm oil and coconut oil prices
Mm-hmm.
that put pressure on PKO. Uh, but yeah, also partly the situation is influenced by the pressure from Indonesia,
Mm-hmm.
which basically, yeah, uh, Indonesian material is now cheaper related to Malaysian levels, partly because people want to export a little bit more. Remember, we discussed the export centralization, so it's not crazy now, but some companies cut prices, export prices. But at the same time, May production is expected to be lower for palm kernel oil. So that's similar to crude palm oil, as we discussed. The production will be lower. But in contrast to the crude palm kernel oil exports, I checked the vessel lineup data today, and they look quite strong. I would say the PKO exports from Malaysia will likely be similar to the previous month, so
Mm-hmm.
probably over 100K, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good volume. This means that PKO stocks could potentially decline a little bit. So I think that risk we should take into account. But exports, yeah, exports remain good from Malaysia and also Indonesia. I also checked the Indonesian vessel and updata today, which showed to me not strong, I would say lower exports, but together, if you put together Malaysia and Indonesia, the exports have been good so far. But similar to crude palm oil, people are worried, and I think it's been flagged by Oil World and maybe some other companies that palm kernel oil production this year might be lower in Malaysia and Indonesia, especially in Indonesia. So that's why some people worry that the supply could be a bit tighter in the coming month, which we might already start seeing for May when it comes to May data. Yeah, that production will be lower.
Yeah.
So again, they started year very strong, but second part of the year might be different.
Yeah. 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 I understand. Okay, I was checking the chat. We don't have questions today so far. People are shy today, which is okay. Other days they're very very participating, but not today. So that's okay. Okay, then I will wanted to ask you also about coconut oil,
Mhm.
because I know that yeah, this is obviously also, it's always a bit topic in conversations, also because there is no much data available, so it's
Mhm.
good to have your view on it.
Yeah, yeah, good one, of course. Yeah, so let me pull like at this line to the chart. So yeah, as you can see, the trajectory is similar, and it's interesting that, for example, on the sieve basis, there is no spread at the moment, and I would say on the FOB basis, coconut oil is even cheaper, or sorry, not cheaper. I'm thinking about the X works term. Sorry, I think on full basis, the spread is either very small or non-existent. It's which is very interesting. So coconut oil is pretty cheap, I would say, compared to palm kernel oil. So it's getting cheaper because of the better supply.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, we discussed maybe quite some time ago that copra, basically coconut supply, is expected to be better this year. It could impact the prices, and then we finally see it, right? The impact
Mm-hmm.
on the prices, and we finally see it reflected in the import export data. So let me pull the import export widget and add Philippines and add, for example, crude coconut oil, for example. Yeah, so as you can see, April finally started showing much better
Mm-hmm.
exports. Yeah. So they started a bit weaker, but April proved to be much better for both crude coconut oil, but also coconut oil excluding crude.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's finally catching up, which is pressuring the prices. However, yeah, the concern is El Nino, which could impact the 2027 crop.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to this year, the sentiment is that the coconut oil supply will be better. It's already better. And people think that prices could go down even a little bit more for coconut oil. But we need to watch, of course, now El Nino and 2027 crop, which now is a bit of a under risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks for yeah, indeed. That was my my next question, right? I wanted to discuss a bit better the weather and the other crops, right? So El Nino situation, for example.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you have any additional insight on that, or if you shared at the moment everything that you already had.
Yeah, for El Nino, of course, it's a very big topic now, and I think the key agencies that provide coverage on El Nino, the forecasts for El Nino, they say that the risk is the chances are increasing of a very strong El Nino
Mm-hmm.
or strong or very strong El Nino, which will impact primarily Southeast Asia plus Oceania, so Australia in terms of canola. I think Canadian canola will be impacted a little bit too. I think I even put at some point a nice chart on the LinkedIn for El Nino. But basically, the problem is, I'm just going to pull this chart. The problem is, of course, the risk of a dry and hot weather,
Yeah.
right? Which is not great for the crops. Okay, I pulled the. Let me share my screen. I pulled the picture. All right. Can you see it clearly, more or
Yeah.
less? Yeah. Yeah. As you can see, so for example, yeah, risk for Australia in terms of warm and dry weather. So this is canola, right? Canola under risk, but also, for example, wheat. Uh, Southeast Asia, so Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, so which are important for palm oil, coconut, India with its domestic production, but also people say that potentially Canada could be impacted a little bit in terms of canola. But I would say the ones that are really under risk are Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. Yeah, and people already report very hot and dry weather in
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia. And in terms of the timeline, this will likely impact, yeah, like palm and coconut production, maybe not this year, maybe closer to the end of this year, or maybe even next year, I would say rather. Whereas where we could see a short-term impact is Australian canola, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Australian agency, ABRS, already shared their view that the canola production could decrease by 20% this
Mm-hmm.
year, probably partly because of the weather.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I see we have a question. It's in the private chat, so no one
Mhm.
except for us can read it. But I can read it aloud for everybody. It says, "What happened to the market valuation of companies producing palm oil in Indonesia?"
What happened to the company's valuation? It probably means like how much like your company costs after
I
that,
think
like as an
that's what I
asset.
understand. That's what I understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's more like stock analysts can tell probably this information or financial analysts, but of course everybody is super worried, and I think the Indonesian market and the currency weakened since then. I think significantly, the stock markets are not doing well in Indonesia. Of course, everybody's scared about and concerned about this export centralization situation. So I would say, yeah, of course, probably it's not great for the valuation, but I probably cannot give a more exact
Yeah.
answer than that.
That's outside of our
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
I can see also to, I
yeah.
think,
Also, Sandor asked.
okay.
Actually, we are moving now into rapeseed oil,
Mhm.
because I wanted to ask you about the rapeseed oil situation in Europe and Canada, and then maybe we can use this moment also to reply this question which says refined rapeseed oil is going up
Mhm.
seededly in the EU. What do you see after the new crop? What are the chances of a more or less significant price reduction?
Yeah, I mean now it's because Sander they are going they're going up because of the worries. Yeah, we mentioned Australian crop, right, already. We mentioned sorry, we haven't mentioned, but we I think I was going to tell Maria the Canadian the delays in Canada for seeding, not too bad, but still it made the market worrying that some farmers might miss the deadline to put the seeds into the soil in Canada. And in Europe, of course, some of the agencies are reducing a little bit the forecast because of the, I think, some dry and hot periods that we saw relatively recently.
Yeah.
But the situation is not too bad, right? I wouldn't say it's going to be a shortage. It's still expected to be a more or less okay global production. I think in line or maybe slightly above the previous year. I need to double check the most fresh updates. But yeah, I think we should definitely expect the price reduction during the harvesting period. Yeah, it should improve, but it's because of the situation with the crop and also the fact that Canada is going to supply a lot of canola oil to the US and crush a lot domestically. It's not going to be abundant year, right? So initially expected to be abandoned, the bumper crop, a lot of supply, but now it's looking a bit tighter than that, but still okay.
Okay. That's thank you, Garmin. Mm, cool. And how is the situation with the sunflower? Also, finally,
Yeah,
that we have
of
4 minutes or 3 minutes left.
yeah, of course. So the prices in how they moved. Maybe let me share my screen, and I'll share the six sports price. Um, So as you can see, yeah, prices have been steady, right? That's because of mainly, yeah, quite robust soybean oil, palm oil, rapeseed oil, which of course, yeah, soybean oil and palm oil, they declined in recent days, but rapeseed oil is staying strong. So sunflower oil is a bit caught between those. But when it comes to the supply, yeah, market participants say that it's more and more felt that supply in the second part of this season is getting better, not just because of the Argentina, but Argentina is, of course, is a big part because Argentina has been sending a lot of sunflower and sunflower oil to the markets, trying to close the gap, caused by the poor crop in the Black Sea. But now also the Black Sea countries are starting to crush and export more because they accumulated some of the seeds. So, for example, Ukraine and Russia, they were not exporting too much initially because of the bad crush margins. So and farmers maybe didn't want to sell, but some of the seeds accumulated up until now, and now these seeds are being crushed and sent to the global markets, which market participants say are already felt. And also, we should add to this the expectation of a better global crop
Yeah.
uh, in the coming season in the Black Sea, in Europe. I think in Europe it will be more or less in line or slightly above this year, but in the Black Sea it will be very big. Argentinian crop is expected to be good. So I would say if you combine improving supply right now and expected good supply in the coming season, markets I feel a little bit released, but it's not properly reflected in the price yet, as you can
Yeah.
see, right? But
Yeah.
that's because of the expensive Brent crude oil and some of the other oils. But once the situation in the Middle East improves significantly, then I would say we can talk about the reduction in sunflower oil price.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Well, that's a helpful discussion and conversation. I find. I hope everybody find it useful as well. Um, Thank you, German, for today. I think we covered well the main topics and what I'm hearing the most in my conversation with customers. So thanks for the insights. And anyway, everybody can now go to the platform and have a look at the highlights because they are already published. and that's going to help also to answer probably some additional questions.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
and see you next time. Cheers.
See you, Maria. See you, everyone. Bye.